Probably the most important metric in Bitcoin, honestly, is the hash rate. And so I'm going to share an article here from Marty Bent, one of our favorite guys in Bitcoin. And he's talking about the hash rate in context. And I think it was a couple weeks ago now, but we looked at I'll bring it up here real quick because we talked about this. And I think this is really important to understand about just how much is happening in Bitcoin mining right now. So if you go to mempool.space, anybody can do this. I think this is like one of the best resources in Bitcoin just for learning. Like just spend like half an hour on here and just kind of click buttons, play around, see what's going on. You're going to learn a lot from doing that. Honestly, you're going to get kind of a behind the scenes look at how Bitcoin works with all the blocks, all the transactions inside the blocks, the difficulty, the different metrics. You can see up here, there's the mining. There's the Lightning Network here that you can check out, see all the nodes. But we're going to be looking at the mining here. So if we zoom out, I mean, look at this chart for number one. I don't think I've ever seen a more bullish looking chart than this. There's one small blip here. This is when China shut down mining and everybody left for a couple months. And then all of a sudden it was right back to where we were. But the point that I was trying to illustrate, like when we went from basically when the Bitcoin network first started, people were mining Bitcoin on their personal laptops because it didn't need that much power to mine a block because there was hardly anybody mining at the time. So we're talking about mega hash per second here. This is back in 2009, mega hash per second. And then after a year, got a little more difficult. There was more people mining Bitcoin and it went to giga hash per second. And then in 2011, a year later, got a little bit more difficult. There was more people mining and we went to terahash per second. That was the unit. And hash rate is basically just energy. It's the total amount of energy that's going into the Bitcoin network. So every time somebody plugs a miner into the wall, hash rate goes up. Every time somebody unplugs a miner, hash rate goes down. Pretty simple. So terahash here in 2011. 2012, we're still in terahash territory. Get it? 2013, we moved up from terahash to petahash. So even more people mining now. Harder for people, so they need more computing power, more energy to compete for blocks, petahash. And then we moved to exahash in 2016. Exahash. So that was back in 2016. We went from petahash to exahash. 2016. That was the first time we crossed the line over into exahash. Okay, so that's 2016. We spent the next 10 years in exahash until we finally got to right here, August 2025, zettahash. So 9 years, over 9 years, we spent in the same measurement, exahash. And if you look at what has happened since then, we actually have gone up to 1.28 zettahash, 1.28. So when we go to 1,000 zettahash, that's when we're going to move up to the next measurement there. So if we look at this article from Marty, that's essentially what he's talking about too. He's like, it sounds good, like we moved up another measurement of hash, but it's like, it's a pretty big deal. So this is Marty's post on Nostr. He said, in mid-September, the Bitcoin network sustainably surpassed 1 zettahash. So it was in August, actually, when we did it. But he said here, sustainably surpassed 1 zettahash. In the 6 weeks since then, it's added 100 exahash. To put that in context, Bitcoin didn't reach 100 exahash for the first time until January 2020. So basically from January 2016 to January 2020. Okay, stick with me here. January 16th, that's when the Bitcoin network first went into exahash. And then it wasn't until January 2020 where it was 100 exahash. This year, mid-September, we went into Zetahash, and then less than a month later, we hit 100 Zetahash. So the pace of hash rate growth right now is mind-boggling. We're due to have a 6.6 upward difficulty adjustment, which did happen. To anyone reading this wondering what this all means, it means that we're witnessing the exponential growth of the bedrock of the future monetary system, a monetary system that melds the physical and digital worlds to bring us a scarce, I think that's supposed to be scarce, transparent, divisible, portable, and extremely liquid bearer instrument that has separated money and state. I wouldn't sleep on this. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the crazier thing is how few people actually understand how big of a deal that is. That's what I'm most excited about. Because if everybody knew what hash rate was, if everybody knew what exahash and zettahash was and how much we're moving up exponentially right now, it'd be on the news and Bitcoin would be $10 million a coin. So having access and understanding of this knowledge is extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. And this next part that we're going to talk about here, I'm going to kind of go further on that and say people really need to understand how much value that knowledge has right now. Maybe not this second today, but over this next couple of years and next decades, the amount of work that you put into understand Bitcoin is going to pay significant dividends. So that's what we're going to be talking about here next and what you can do about it. Crazy.